Hey everyone, it's Skizix here, your casual exile. I'm going to be creating a new series called The Ultimate Guide for New and Returning Players to Path of Exile. And the reason for this is there's a lot of people that have recently been playing or trying out Path of Exile for the first time. And I think it's going to be even more with every new league that comes out because the game is becoming more and more popular as well as much better the further the company progresses in creating content. So this video is gonna go into some very basics of Path of Exile, and for those that are watching that have any experience in Path of Exile or have progressed through the game already, these first couple videos in this series may not pertain to you, but even the next video is very helpful as we'll get into um, third-party programs that are very good to use for quality of life through progressing through the game. Some strategies and getting into the atlas and the mapping. And I know some of this doesn't make sense to some of you new people or returning people from way back in the beginning of when Path of Exile first released, but it's just a friendly reminder to those that are watching. This is very basic, this first video, but is very informational for you new players as well. So we'll get right into it. When you go to create a character, you get presented with the league screen, and what the league screen is you have your standard and your hardcore mode, which are modes that are always there. They never go away, and any items and all currency from the previous leagues are now in this standard or hardcore league. As you see here, each league, each league, standard, betrayal, hardcore, betrayal, have a solo self-found mode. Now, what this mode means is you find, you craft, and you progress and adventure through Path of Exile completely on your own. So no trading, no partying, and you basically solo as it means, or SSF. Note that if you do play solo self-found, you can opt yourself out of it after you've already entered it. So if you started a character and you played solo self-found for a few days or a few weeks and found out that it's not really your style, you can opt out of it and go to the corresponding league that you started that character in. Then we'll get into the 3-month leagues where Grinding Gear Games comes out with new mechanics for Path of Exile every give or take 3 months. And right now it's called the Betrayal League. And when they come out with these leagues, they last for 3 months, and you have a choice of going hardcore betrayal or softcore betrayal, and as well as doing it as an SSF character. Note also that hardcore and Path of Exile is a little different than some other hardcore AARPGs. When you die in hardcore, your character doesn't. It states it right here. A character killed in hardcore betrayal becomes a standard character. So your hardcore character would then go to standard. So that's the basis of the leagues in Path of Exile. I personally play softcore when a new league starts, so I play the standard softcore Betrayal League, and that's just my preference. And then you get presented with the character creation screen, and you have 7 characters that you get to choose from. You get a Templar, a Shadow, a Marauder, a Scion, a Ranger, a Duelist, and a Witch. And the reason for this video mainly is to go into a little bit of detail as to when you pick one of these characters, you're not necessarily presented with all of its characters within the character that you picked, or what Path of Exile calls it is the Ascendancy. So Path of Exile came out with a or not brand new, but came out with an expansion a couple years back called Ascendancies, where they added 3 Ascendancy classes to each of the main classes. And you obtain this by going through what's called the Trials of Labyrinth, or through the Labyrinth. And you, as you're progressing through Path of Exile, you get to choose from one of 3 Ascendancy classes depending on the initial class that you picked. And I'll go into that next. So I'm going to open up a third-party program here called Path of Building. I'm not going to get too much into detail as far as third-party programs. This third-party program is very beneficial. I will have the link in the description below of how you can download it. The next video will actually be third-party programs that are really great for quality of life through your progression of Path of Exile and how it can help you. But the reason I'm using Path of Building here is because it shows us the Ascendancy classes that are offered when choosing a character. So in the character creation, we'll start at the top here of the passive tree. When you pick a witch, you have an Ascendancy class, 3 Ascendancy classes to choose from, one being the Necromancer, the Elementalist, or the Occultist. I'm not going to get into detail either as far as the Ascendancy points that you get to choose from, just more about that if you pick a witch, you get quite a plethora of options to choose from that increase the power of your character. Now, each of these Ascendancies do come with benefits pertaining to particular skills used in Path of Exile, but that's for another time. So if not choosing a witch, you decide to choose a Templar, which you start here in the tree. You get to choose from a Guardian, a Hierophant, or an Inquisitor. And then if you chose a Marauder, which is the starting point, is here you have 3 Ascendancy classes to choose from, one being the Chieftain, the other the Berserker, and finally the Juggernaut. And then for the Duelist, which is the start point here, you have the Gladiator, the Champion, and the Slayer that you can choose from of that class. And then over here to the right of the passive tree, the Ranger starting point, your Ascendancy classes you get to choose from are the Deadeye, the Pathfinder, and the Raider. And then above her, your starting point for the Shadow, and your three Ascendancy classes you get to choose from are the Assassin, the Trickster, or the Saboteur. Now those are the 6 basic characters that you get to choose from, and then there is a 7th. It's called a Scion, or an Ascendant. When you choose a Scion, you start right in the middle of the tree here where you see these 3 colors. And when you complete your labyrinth through progressing Path of Exile, you get to choose an Ascendant Ascendancy, which is a very complex Ascendancy where it kind of combines all of these. If you see here, the Juggernaut has a bunch of very powerful abilities that you get to choose from, and it combines it into one. So it kind of picks some very beneficial things from all of these passives and combines it into one. And when you're an Ascendant, you get to choose basically two Ascendancy classes packed into one thing. For instance, a Slayer and a Pathfinder is a very popular thing to do right now in Path of Exile. So that's the Ascendancy classes for your choice of whichever character you get to choose, or that you choose. So this was just the first episode. The reason for this is because honestly, when you get presented with this character creation screen here, there's no information as far as how it can grow and what it can potentially be. So showing these ascendancy classes when you choose these might give you a better perspective as to what you want to go for when progressing through the game, or how you want to build. It's important to also know that Path of Exile is a very versatile building game as far as characters. You can make a witch and be a melee build. You can make a marauder and be a bow build. That's the joy of playing Path of Exile. I mention myself as a casual exile quite often, and by that I mean I don't get too much into deep marketing strategies or currency flipping. I'm not very efficient. I'm not as efficient as some other players in Path of Exile. I don't get into very min-maxing of my builds, meaning like I don't get the best possible gear, or I don't do the best possible strategies to benefit my wealth in the game. I do very dumb things sometimes with my currency just for fun. You know, I play the game as it comes at me. I play it casually, and I really want to put my style of play out there because I feel it is the best way to play the game. I have the most fun with it. And for those that have only a few hours a week or a few hours a day to play the game, you know, this style is good for that. Excuse me. So I hope this has helped. I stream at Twitch.tv/SkeezXTR. You can check me out there. I play every day pretty much, and I stream every day Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Like I said, the next few videos that are coming out are going to be also very basic and informational for those new players coming to Path of Exile, or returning players. You know, there's a lot of players that played in the very beginning of Path of Exile and haven't come back, but now with how great the game has become, you know, there's a lot of people coming back. So I hope this was helpful. I know I enjoy making these videos. And another thing excuse me. Another thing to mention is in the comments below if there's anything you wish that you knew prior to playing the game or during playing the game. I've been talking a lot today. During playing the game, or something that you might wish you would have known, please leave it in the comments below, and I could add that into the series and some of the videos. So play the game casually because it's the best way to play it, and I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.